Consistency is undefeated, man. If you just keep going at it every single day, you'll find out what worked well, what didn't work well, and then that's when the results come.
Welcome back to another episode of The Hustler's Journey. Today's guest is extra special, and he's someone that can completely change your life. Someone that went from selling newspapers, shoes, cars, to one of the biggest leading real estate professionals selling billions of dollars worth of real estate, none other than Jas Takhar.
You can't really be mad at yourself for the results you're not getting, for the work that you're not putting in. Sales, to me, or any really trying to find your passion is like that. Try as many things as you possibly can. See what doesn't really feel like work. It's something that might feel more like a hobby to you. And if that is sales because you've tried it, then go in further. In sales, the more people that you can essentially meet, the higher probability you're going to have to do more deals. If you want to do more sales, all you got to do is meet more people.
Jas, thank you so much for coming on the show, brother.
Hey man, Omer, I appreciate it, buddy. If you don't mind, I'm gonna steal that bio that you just said, man. I really appreciate it, and I love doing uh, podcasts like this with people who I can just, I'm a vibration frequency guy, man, and for your viewers and listeners, this is the first time you and I are connecting and actually seeing each other and hearing each other's voice outside of just quickly connecting on Instagram through a DM to get this set up. But I'm glad that I said yes, because once I saw that smile, man, and for the guys and gals that are taking their dogs for a walk right now or listening while they're driving, you got to get onto this guy's YouTube page and see him on TikTok if you haven't already, because like, you're glowing, man. You're glowing right now, and I love the frequency. And so I'm gonna try to bring as much. Yeah, man, I'm gonna try to bring as much value as I possibly can to any and everybody who's listening right now.
Absolutely, man. I think, this is going to be so much gem, so much value. Like, I think I told you, I've been seeing your stuff on my For You page so much lately. And it's like, it's good content. It's not so I'm like, whatever. Like, I genuinely stop, watch, listen, and I'm learning something each time, right? So it's like, I'm super excited to see it. And so I think it's going to be one of the.
I can't tell you how much that means, Omar, because I started with the content journey about 6 years ago, just in the hopes of really just getting out to my clients, like my actual real estate clients.
Yep.
And now to like be speaking to a dude from Washington, and like, it's just odd, you know what I mean? Where your life kind of takes you. Myself and was my VP in my real estate company back when we started this, but as a business partner in a coaching company I have for real estate professionals, like we pinch ourselves all the time and like, what the heck? Like, how did this get to where it is right now? And so it's so cool to hear someone say like, "Hey, I made it to your For You page," which is kind of cool because it's like all organic stuff. I don't pay for any of it. But then to actually get people to stop and learn something, it really means the world to me. I truly, truly mean that.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I think that's the difference too with for me, again, same thing. I've been in the social game now for about like 3, 4 years, just documenting my real estate journey, day in life as a real estate intern, all the way up to now, day in life owning a real estate team, whatever it is, right? So I think it's very easy to make content and it's very easy to get views and followers, all this stuff, but it's very hard to have the value in the followers that you have. Like for you, it's like I feel like everyone watches your stuff and they're like, oh, I just learned something. I'm gonna follow this guy. It's not because you flash some nice car or whatever. You know what I mean? It's like real value content. So I think honestly, like your followers and your viewers have so much value because these are people that are really genuinely learning from me. I think that's the best type of audience to have.
It's funny that you said the flashy cars and stuff. Like, I used to sell cars, as you mentioned in the bio,
Yeah.
and so I have nothing against anybody who buys cars that, like, if they had the posters on their wall and that was something on their vision board, and you should strive for whatever it is that you're looking to get. But it's funny that
Yeah.
you said flashy cars. Like, I drive a $15,000 Toyota Camry still, you know what I mean? And not because I'm cool to say that, oh, like, I'm still driving the car that I had when I had nothing. No, that wouldn't be true.
Yep.
I did get the flashy cars.
Yep.
I didn't really show it on social because I don't think that's a lot of value to people. But I just learned that, man, I get a $15,000 car. I can spend the rest of the money putting it back into my business and growing other people now. And that's how I've been able to scale.
100%. No, I love it, man. So I'm super excited to get into it. So just to start it off, like, I mean, we have, and we'll, again, first time meeting, guys, but we have such similar backgrounds and stories from what I've learned about you. But obviously you are lightning years ahead of for me, so I'm super excited to learn from you. And then also just my viewers, they're going to get so much value from this. Like I said, most of my people are young individuals that want to get into sales, that want to get into real estate, so it's going to be a lot of value. So just take me all the way back, just like very briefly, how did Jas come about? Walk me through what your hustler's journey looked like in a brief little summary.
Well, thank God that my dad and mom did their thing 9 months before I was born, because then now the world gets to see Jas Takhar. So shout out to my parents first and foremost.
Yep.
But we were born like my parents raised me in the north part of Toronto in an area called Rexdale. That kind of
Yep.
has a stigma against it. Like even till this day, it's that area that people tell you to kind of roll up your windows and lock your doors. But I personally was very sheltered from that because I had two older brothers. Anybody who has older siblings
Yeah.
knows that it's a healthy reminder that you're closer to the bottom than you are to the top.
100%. Yep.
And they remind me till this day. I'm 42 years old now.
Yeah.
But they sheltered me, man. And my father and my mother, they got calls from the teachers and the principals and like, there's something wrong with this kid, Jas, because he's always bothering the other students, or he can't sit down. He
Mm.
goes to asks to go to the washroom, doesn't come back.
Yeah.
And my parents, grade four education for my mom, grade eight education for my dad back home in India, they never really reprimanded me for it, like really hard. Like, I
Yeah.
got punished. I got
Yep.
things taken away, but it was like, you know what? Can you try a little harder? We know that there's something for you. And how
100%.
my parents knew this, again, with the grade four and grade eight education. I mean, I count my blessings every day. Like I wear a shirt for your viewers, sorry, your listeners who don't see it. Like it says, "You are enough." It's a reminder to people that you are good enough, you are smart enough, you are
100%.
beautiful enough. Like forget what everyone else is telling you out there,
Yeah.
right? And it came from what my father used to tell me in his
Yeah.
own way. And so that gave me confidence, like when and I don't even think I've ever really said this, man. So like it's something new that I guess I'm trying to articulate,
Yeah.
which is when you know that you're not going to let your parents down, and doesn't matter how many times you fail,
Yep.
you kind of have this era and aura about you that is willing to try stuff. And that made me put my hand up as a 6 7 year old to help the school with the book sales or knocking on doors with the Christmas ornaments. Then took me to, at the age of 12, where like for me it was like the biggest aha moment, probably even till this day,
Yep.
which was I was selling newspapers and I got paid for it. And I was like,
Yep.
what? I get to knock on doors? Like, I was doing this 6 years ago.
Yep.
And people said no, and it didn't really affect me. And I knocked on more doors. And then I started selling shoes. And I went into the banking industry. And then the big jump for me in sales.
Yeah.
And if there's people who really want to get started, and maybe it's not real estate yet for them, for whatever
Yeah.
reason, I think where most people should start is car sales.
Okay.
And the reason I say that is because it's like there's no salary. So you're like, it's for the older people, they'll understand the
Yeah.
analogy of you eat what you kill.
100%.
Right. And so the reason I really like it as a starting point is because the bar set so low in car sales. Like everyone,
Yep.
I use that word against stigma. Like it's
Yep.
the used car salesman and the pushy
Yep.
salesperson, and oh, you gotta buy now. And
Yep.
the bar's set so low. So if you're just getting started, don't be
100%.
an ass. Be
Yep.
kind to people. Don't
Yep.
push people, right? And so for me, at the age of 19 is when I got into car sales. I got started. I had a mentor who ran and still owns like the top 8 9 dealerships in our
Wow.
country. He took
Yeah.
me under his wing, told me the right way to do it. I actually
Yep.
got the bar is set so low from him. He's like,
Yep.
buddy, I've seen so many people come and go. Just don't
Yep.
be like this. Don't be pushy, yada, yada, yada. I
100%.
hit records in car sales, but for me, there was always that one rung on the ladder of sales that I was like, I got to get to that. Like, it's real estate. The commissions are bigger, but
Yep.
it's someone's biggest investment, and I don't mean that as an investor only, but if they're buying their first home, the
100%.
average person's biggest investment that they're going to make, and I want to be part of that. And so I started at the age of 22, and I've been able to grow a team now of a little over 45 agents.
Wow.
I have a support staff of about 13 people, and having a lot of fun, man. I really haven't, and I'm not just saying this, I
Yeah.
haven't worked since I was probably like 13, 14 years old. Like, I get to do this. I'm so blessed, and I got an amazing core group
Yeah.
of leaders around me now. They used to work kind of for me, quote unquote, off,
Yeah.
but like they become business partners of mine,
Yeah.
and we get to have a lot of fun.
I love it, man. That's one hell of a story. I mean, from selling newspapers, shoes, cars, to now, leading this amazing team of real estate professionals, real estate coaches. Like, you have really like set the standard, and it's a lot, and there's so much to unpack in there. But like you said, I think people don't understand that the barrier to entry into sales is so low, but the outcome could be, it could change your whole life, right? Forever. So it's amazing how you kind of have that same mantra. And my mentor is the same thing. He's like, look, anybody can do this. It's a $300 real estate license. It's a 60-hour course. You can knock this out easily. And I actually preach this on my Instagram and TikToks too. And some people get mad at me about it, but I'm like, it's true. The barrier to entry is super low.
I mean, look, I mean, from car sales to real estate, as I was starting the process of manifesting me getting into real estate sales,
Yeah,
in a 30-day period, I sold 4 cars to real estate agents. And this was my aha moment, like, okay, I'm jumping in now, which
yeah,
was these 4 guys, like, really, really kind guys. 2 guys I still kind of stay in contact with
yeah,
20 years later.
yeah,
And what happened was, as I saw, as they were purchasing these cars, I obviously saw their income.
yeah,
And the guy, on the credit application it says monthly income, and I thought they made a mistake. All 4 of them. It's just
yeah,
it is the power of manifestation,
yeah,
man. Like that's probably the overall thesis of my life that I
yeah,
would now want to give to other people, which is
yeah,
whatever you want to manifest, you can. Unfortunately, some people are manifesting what things that they don't want because that's
100%,
what they're always thinking about. But
100%.
these 4 guys wrote their incomes, and I said to 2 of them, the first 2 that did it, I shut up for the second 2. I
Yeah,
said, no, sorry, I didn't say annual income on your
yeah,
application. It says monthly income. And
yeah,
they're like, Jas, that's what we make every month. The funny part about it, Omar, these guys, like, I think English was their third language, man. You know?
crazy.
And so to your point about the cost of entry, it is very low, but what I quickly learned about them as I started talking to them through the process of them picking up their cars and stuff, I said, "What is it? Like, how do you do this?" He
Yeah,
said, "Jas, we talk to everyone that we can talk to and tell them that we're in the business. And then
yeah,
when they tell us that they're not ready to buy,
yeah,
we just ask them if we can follow up." So
yeah,
to your mentor's point, everyone can get in and anyone can. The
100%,
ones that stay are the ones that can deal with the rejection of
100%.
hearing, hey, we're not ready yet. What
Yep,
most 99% of people in the industry of overall sales, specifically in real estate, I
yeah.
feel like they just can't handle the fact that it's not really a no, it's just a not yet.
It's a
Now,
maybe. Yep,
right? It's a maybe. It's now like you have to have some type of system and process in place to stay in touch with them because you're not going to remember them telling you that they're thinking about maybe making a purchase in 6 months. When you have 67 people who told you that, how the hell are you going to remember that? And so if you can't make an investment of $50 a month into some type of software or CRM where it's going to cost you $600 a year
yep,
to make 600,000 possibly, like, do you deserve it
yep,
really? You know what I mean? Like, if you're not willing to invest into yourself or
yeah,
invest into your own business, no wonder nobody wants to invest into you, right? Like,
100%.
so I think, like, your mentor hit it, man. Like, anyone can get in, it's just a matter of who actually sticks through it.
100%. That's the thing too. It's like obviously the barrier to entry is super low, but the real estate agents that actually make it and kill it, it's a super small amount because, like you said, it's in the follow up, it's in the lead generate, it's in the boring stuff that people don't tend to. They just want to see the flashy cars, closings, whatever. Like that's like literally like 2% of it. The rest, no one wants to do, right? So,
And
um,
I love the shows, right? Like Million Dollar Listing New York and LA, and a couple, a few of those guys have been on my pod a couple of years ago. Really nice guys. It's
yeah,
just that I think the bad, like the negative thing that came out of that is that it's not the flashy cars even as much as the flashy commissions that come
100%.
in that show. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? It's like, oh,
and
this
then
is
break
easy.
down what it
And
actually takes to get to that commission, the
like
listing.
it didn't happen in 22 minutes, guys.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like like some of it is staged. Now, a lot of it they actually did those deals, but that was like a year and a half of follow up for them to actually close that deal.
100%, 100%. No, and that's the bad side of social media and TV. And I get same thing here. It's like I get a lot of feedback saying I make sales look super easy. I'm like, no, my goal is just to inspire you enough to get into it. Like I got into, so obviously I came from Ethiopia and like I wanted to be a doctor. Immigrant route is going to school, be a doctor, XYZ.
Yeah,
I saw a TikTok reel of a real estate agent breaking down how much he made on a commission, and that's what intrigued me enough to like go in and search real estate and find my mentor, and then down the line, now we're here, right? But there's different sides to social media and reality TV and how people take it, but I think I mean, from what I've seen, again, from your content, from just talking to you now, I think you have the same mindset with me to where you believe sales is the best industry in the world. Talk to me about your love for sales and
yeah,
why.
man. Well, look, the truth is, I've never done anything else other than a 4 month period at the age of like 17, where I worked at a banquet hall,
Yeah,
kind of as a busboy, just picking up like a summer job, and then it kind of led to a part-time job during school. So for me, I don't know anything else, and I actually think I was now at 42 put here to help other people understand how you can actually create a sales business around your life. Like that, I actually truly think is my purpose now. So
yeah,
I owe everything to the sales industry. I used to say, like, I owe so much to the real estate industry, and even used to say I owe everything. It really truly is, I owe everything to the sales industry, because it's the one of, and I can't even think of another one right now where there's no ceiling. So as much as you put in is what
yeah,
you'll always get out, right? And
100%.
so you can't really be mad at yourself for the results you're not getting, for the work that you're not putting in. But I
Yep,
like that. I like the merit in sales.
yeah,
It's almost similar to sports, right?
yep,
Because like in sports, at the end when the clock hits zero,
yeah,
the Nuggets all either beat the Lakers, or what's happening right now, the Timberwolves are really showing the
yeah,
Nuggets who's who right now.
yeah,
Sales is like that. You can talk a big game, but at the end
100%.
of the day, let's just count numbers,
Yep,
right? And so for me, that's not for
yeah,
everybody, but for me, I really, really enjoy that, because now it's just a matter of, it's quite binary. How many sales did you do at the end of the month, at the end of the
yep,
week, the end of the year? There is no, okay, A pluses, B, like school plays out a little differently, right? And so in sales, the more people that you can essentially meet, the higher probability you're going to have to do more deals. And that's quite simple. Like
100%.
in actuality, if you want to do more sales, all you got to do is meet more people. Now,
That's it.
there's easier ways than there has been in the past. Obviously, social media being one of them.
Yeah,
But to your question, Omar, man, I owe everything to this industry. And if someone's on the fence who's watching or listening right now, that should I get in, I would say at least try it.
yeah,
Like it's that I always use the buffet line. I like buffets once in a while. You
yeah.
can tell.
Same here. Same.
Like you should essentially try majority of the stuff in the buffet line the first time that you go there, to then give you an idea what you're gonna like the second time you go in line. Right? Sales
100%.
to me, or any really trying to find your passion, is like that. Try
Yeah,
as many things as you possibly can, and then
yep,
see what doesn't really feel like work.
yep,
Like it's something that might feel more like a hobby to you. And
Yeah.
if that is sales because you've tried it,
Yep.
then go in further. Now, if you're someone who's in sales and you're having a hard time, what I'm here to tell you is just don't quit. The numbers will always work out,
100%.
meaning you just need to meet more people.
Yep.
You would be the first person to meet more people and not do more deals ever. That's just
Yep.
like I just never come across anyone. The people
Well,
that fail in sales are the ones that quit. Period. They just quit
100%.
because if you just
100%.
keep meeting people every single day, someone is going to want to do business with you.
Yep.
So
And
that's
yeah.
that's why I've always kind of liked sales because I get to a write my own check. B, I get to do it on my own terms,
Yep.
especially now in 2024. Like I
Yep.
wear a t-shirt in the spring and summer, and in the fall and winter I wear a hoodie. That's
Yep.
I'm not everyone's cup of tea, man. I throw some F bombs here and there in my content. I wave my
Yep.
hands. People think, man, this
Yeah.
this good looking Indian guy is on some type of drugs. Not
Yeah.
everybody. I'm not everyone's cup of tea, and that's
No.
okay. And that's
Yep.
okay. I get to decide who I get to work with. More importantly, people get to decide if they want to work with me, and I like that, man. I'm not tied to a chair. I mean, I've set up my business a way now where I don't own a computer. I'm doing this podcast through the only device that I have, which is a phone.
Yep.
I haven't touched a computer in 7, 8 years. I don't have an office. My team kind of has all that. I have a chair that I'm sitting
Yeah.
on. This is kind of
Yeah.
where I do the majority of my stuff. I
Yes.
get to come in when I want, get to leave when I want, and so for me, sales has been the only industry that's been able to give me that kind of life.
100%. No, I think that's kind of what I preach to is like it doesn't matter what type of sales it is, doesn't matter if it's real estate sales, tech sales, car sales, whatever it is, get into it. Obviously, the real estate sales, what else is more expensive than a house, a $500,000 house, a $2 million house? Obviously, the higher the price point of what you can sell, the more money you can make, the better life, XYZ. But that's my whole thing is sales is just it's the industry to be in. Talk to me about if you were to go back today, let's say, you're Jas at 20, 25, even 30, doesn't matter what it is. Would you today in 2024 still be a real estate agent?
Yeah, for sure. Because I think that there's a huge opportunity still in real estate because what I mentioned about car sales,
Yeah.
that the bar's set low. It's not like real estate's that much more of a trusted profession, right? Like if you Google right now the most trusted profession, some might think it's like a doctor or a lawyer. They're actually not that trusted, especially in 2024. The most trusted profession is still firemen and firewomen. Like when
Yep.
they tell you to get out of the building, you're an idiot
You're
if
gonna
you
get
don't
out.
do a
Yeah.
fireman and a firewoman. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Salespeople across every industry are still near the bottom in terms of a trusted profession. Real estate, people are always going to need your product or service. I
Yep.
actually think real estate agents, from a sales perspective, are the luckiest because the product you have,
Has to
people
always be there.
always will need it. It's just a matter of, are they going to buy it to live in it? Are
Yep.
they going to rent it? Or
Yep.
are they going to buy it to rent it out as an investor? So
Yep.
what you have, people always need.
No
And this
matter
is
what.
coming from a right. This is coming from a guy that sold a lot of different stuff, like
Yep.
cars. Not everyone needs. In fact, overall car sales have gone down.
100%.
Overall, right? And then now you're looking at like the EVs are selling more, and now they're starting to kind of dip a little bit. But you have that within the car industry. Not everybody. I sold shoes, not like the Al Bundy type, and some of your older guys are going to get that reference on their way home. Like
Yeah.
I helped marathon runners and sprinters with shoes, right? And
Yep.
so, but not everybody needed that. I worked at the bank helping people with lines of credits and loans.
Yep.
Not everybody needed that. And so, from a real estate perspective, I would definitely still be, as a 24-year-old, 25-year-old wanting to get into this business because I
Yeah.
actually think it's easier. When I did it when I was 24, exactly 18 years ago, I
Yeah.
got my license at 22. I didn't have all the tools, man. Like,
Nope.
obviously, there was no social media, but like,
Yeah.
internet was being used, but not obviously at the scale that it was now. Now with AI, there's just so much. Like, we have to take
Everything
appointments.
can be automated now.
Yeah, and we had to take appointments, Omar, like, from one end of the city to the other. And for us in traffic time, that's a 2 hour mission.
Yeah.
Like now with Zoom, it's actually better for the client for you
Yeah.
to just do a bunch of Zoom meetings, right? And
100%.
so in my opinion, it's actually become easier. Hence why I would definitely still be in the business
Yeah.
or get
No.
started in the business.
1,000%. I tell everyone this too. It's like, get again, when it comes to sales, when it comes to real estate, people are always going to need your products. But and I always tell everyone, especially when they're just getting started, if you're a brand new real estate agent, do rentals. People sleep on rentals. People don't understand how much money you can make off of rentals. First month's rent. Like, are you kidding me? And everyone and their mother is looking to rent a house, whether it's college students. Like, this is a pool where it doesn't matter what stage you're in. You're
And most
always
real estate agents, sorry to cut you off, brother. Most real estate agents don't want to touch rentals, and so all the opportunities there. I have two girls that were on my team that went from doing zero deals to doing 100 rentals in 1 year. She then, one girl specifically, backed it up with doing 250 rentals the second year. She's now 10 years in the business. Her third to her 10th year in the business, she
yeah,
does 250 sales a year.
yeah.
She's a beast,
That's it.
and it all
That's it.
started with rentals because nobody wanted to touch them,
No,
but she
exactly.
built her business over time through rentals.
The opportunity through rentals are crazy. Not just the fact that they're going to turn to buyers down the line, but just as rentals themselves. I have this guy. His name's Yassine. He's a good friend of mine. He hit me up on Instagram DMs 2.5 years ago about like getting started in real estate. He got his license. He actually took action. Started working for the company that I was working at, One Street. Was working with me, and now he started off with rentals. He absolutely fell in love with rentals to where now he only does rentals, right? An average rental price here in DC area is about like 30, that like $3,000 a month. He's doing at least 3 to 4 to 5 deals a month, and also he's double ending all the deals. So he's getting the entire thing. There's no buyer's agent usually involved. And then now what he did is he started a property management company. So when he closes a rental, he now gets them as a property management client, and he's killing it. He's killing it.
Like so much opportunity is out there, and someone like that who took action, I think that's the biggest thing, right? Because I think most people in general in life, not agents, not just salespeople, they fall into paralysis by analysis so much, right?
Yeah.
It's this adage of I'm not gonna pull the trigger until everything is lined up, and then they stay there.
Yep.
Where a better strategy in my eyes would be just pull the friggin' trigger,
Yeah.
miss the target, but then
Yeah.
you know how far left of the target you hit,
Yep.
right? And so we have signs all over our office that say ready, fire, aim. And I know
I've seen
that
that
screws
on
with
there.
people. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I know that screws with people because it's like, no, it's ready, aim, fire. No,
Yep.
that's what you've been told to look
Yep.
before you leap. Forget it, man. Just leap, and then
You'll
you'll
figure it
be
out.
able to get there quicker, right?
Yep.
And so I think to your boy Yassine, I mean, congratulations. I'm sure he's listening as well. That is
Yep.
an amazing, amazing business that he's been able to build. And what I like about that
He's
is
only
that
20.
that's like it's so real, right? Like he starts with the rentals, does a lot of those every single month, and then boom, sees another opportunity to go into the property management field, and
Yep.
now he's probably the expert. Like people are like, well, you need a rental, you got to speak to Yassine and his crew, and so that's how that actually happens. That snowball and that momentum will only start to happen if you take action, though.
100%. I tell everyone too, like he found a niche. I think the money's in the niches, right? He found a niche, he's sticking with that, and that's what works. And same here with me. Obviously, when I started, I would do anything from buyers in Waldorf, Maryland, Baltimore, DC. It doesn't matter what it was, sellers. I would do anything, right? Now I've found my niche. Like I like doing new construction, I like new development. I've built up relationships with developers. That's the only thing I want to do, right? So it's like you really learn and find your niche, but like you say, you just got to do it. You just got to, what is it? Ready,
Fire, aim.
right?
Yeah.
So I love that. So I know we're getting close on time. So I want you to kind of talk. The content I see from you all the time is you training other agents on how to get business, how to get started, how to cold call. If I'm a brand new real estate agent, or I'm a real estate agent in general, walk me through some of your favorite lead generation systems. Like, are you cold calling? Are we door knocking? Are we doing open houses? Walk me through some of those.
Yeah, so we kind of work off of three pillars, which is number one is through your CRM, and it's not actually cold calling. We actually call it warm calling. And
Okay.
so, as a new agent, I actually have now come to realize I got people in my coaching academy that are doing north of 1.5 million, 2 million, 3 million GCI, and
Yeah.
they come to me when we're just in conversation at the start, and they're like, "Jazz, like I don't need to do all that stuff that you're teaching people about the CRM. Like I got it locked down. I get a lot of referrals." I'm like, "Oh, okay. I understand what you mean. You get a lot of referrals, but that's inbound, which is great. That's the
Yeah.
holy grail. Like you get a bunch
Yeah.
of inbound." I go, "But what happens when the market slows down, that the emails don't ding as much and the phone doesn't ring as much? What we
Yeah.
need to do is be proactive and stay in touch with our with the people in our CRM through bi-weekly emails, but
Yeah.
most importantly, calling them." Now
Mhm.
that's what you're trying to do, is call them with some type of value. So that is what, and I'm going to talk about what that is so people can take this and do it for themselves. But
Yeah.
one lead gen funnel that is the most foundational is your CRM. Hence why I went down the path of you gotta be able to invest the $50 a month
Yeah.
into some type of software. Number two is educational events. And so I personally, in my own business, do one educational event in person every single month, and then I
Wow.
put on a webinar once every single month as well. For
Yep.
everybody who's watching or listening who's new or been doing it for a while, forget what I just said about once a month, because
Yep.
I don't want you to get stuck in paralysis by analysis. I want you to just do four of them in a year. Once every 90 days, put on
Yep.
an in person educational event or some type of webinar. Why? Well, why do like religious places work so well? Churches, synagogues, temples. Why? Because there's a meeting of the minds every Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. People
Yep.
know that they can go to the synagogue on a Saturday, and I apologize
100%.
if that's the wrong day,
Yeah.
but you know what I mean. Like they know that there's some type of community happening, right? And so,
100%.
you as a real estate agent, you should build that in your business. We also know who the coolest kid in high school was. It was
Yeah.
the guy or the gal that always
The
threw the
party.
house parties,
Yeah.
right? And so we want to throw the house parties, do that through the educational events. And then number three is content. There
Yep.
is no better tool in the history that
Preach.
of life that is, and you said the word, I'm of East Indian descent. My mother negotiates over apples back home. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And so what, like the fact that it is free, and that might change. Everybody get used to this now,
Yep.
because Meta's talking about,
Yep.
100
Payment
$200 a
plan.
month
Yep.
that you got to pay as content creators. So take advantage of this as while it lasts, that you can put out content right across 7 to 8 different platforms for
Yep.
free,
Yep.
control the narrative, and pretty much, there's the odd time that you might get canceled, but you shouldn't be saying too many things that are that divisive
Yep.
in general. As an
Yep.
agent, kind of stay,
Yeah.
within the lines. You're not going to get canceled. You can put it out for free, and you get the ability to allow others to decide if they want to work with you. Those are the three ways that we generate leads, for one reason and one reason only: to
Okay.
book more appointments. The lifeblood of your business in sales is
Yeah.
people. Is people. Specifically, as a real estate professional, we're
Yeah.
not selling to robots
No.
yet. That
Yep.
might come later on. Right
Yeah.
now, you need people. So it is in your like, what you should be doing is booking sales appointments. Now,
Yep.
here's what I teach. I
Yes.
teach people to reach out to everyone in their CRM, put on educational events, and do content, all funneling to what is known as a real estate action plan. That's our sexy word, but what it really is just essentially a financial checkup from the neck up.
I
What do I
love
mean? Well,
I love
every
that.
year we all know that we generally go see a doctor or a dentist or maybe an eye doctor, probably all three, for a
Yep.
checkup. All we do
Yep.
is like, "Hey doc, how's my teeth? Hey doc,
Yep.
how are my eyes? Hey doc, how's my health?" Yada yada yada. They do their thing. They tell you, okay, compared to last year, whatever. So what I decided to do is do a financial checkup for my clients. What does that entail? Well, that entails to get a better idea of what my clients might, and I always
Yeah.
emphasize the word might because we can't help everyone, and they might not even be looking to doing anything, but what they might want to accomplish long term within
Yeah.
real estate. And we do that by finding out what type of capital they might have in their stocks, in their mutual funds, in their savings account, what equity they have in their homes that they might be able to take advantage of.
Yep.
We here in Canada have registered funds. The equivalent for you guys in the States would be your IRAs, your
Yep.
retirement.
Yep.
What does IRA stand for, by the way, Omar? Is it like the registered accounts? Like we can invest our registered funds, and I know you guys have something equivalent on
Yeah.
the
I think
state
it's
side,
like
but
a Roth IRA. Yep.
that's it, right? Okay, and so we find out ways that people have, sorry, what capital they have invested in that, and then we help them invest that into real estate instead of getting a 2 to 3% return tied to their mutual fund. All of that is done through a 25 to 35 minute conversation. I do approximately 35 to 40 of those every week.
Wow.
In the last 104 months, so full from January to April, end of
Yeah.
April, we've booked 512 of them. We've taken 275 of actual appointments. Out of
Yeah.
275, 37 transactions have been done, so it's slightly a little over 10%. But
Wow.
here's where the rubber hits the road. I'm not here
Yeah.
to tell everybody about the 37 transactions. I'm not here to impress you. It's
Yeah.
more to really give you an idea of where all the data is coming from. I want everyone to have heard the fact that there was like 190, 100, 200 people that said no or not yet.
Yep.
We didn't stop. We just kept going. We keep going. And so that line of doing a financial checkup from the neck up, I can
Love it.
guarantee you, I've been using that specific line for a little over 10 years. It will always get someone's attention. And you now, as a real estate agent, are not looked at like a real estate agent.
No.
You're looked at more of a financial advisor.
Yeah. And
And
that's
you've
what we
now
want.
right? You differentiated yourself. For us here, we are Toronto has the biggest real estate board in North America, right across North America, bigger than New York, LA, Chicago, all of it. We have 77,000 real estate agents, Omar, in a 50-mile radius, bro.
Nuts. Nuts.
Okay?
Yeah.
77,000 agents in a 50-mile radius. You
Crazy.
throw a rock, you hit a real estate agent. So if you don't differentiate yourself,
You're
you
done.
now you're looked at like a commodity, and
Yep.
then it's a race to zero on your commissions. I actually don't
100%.
blame clients and customers and prospects who
No.
say drive your commission down
Yeah.
because they don't see you bringing any value.
No.
Personally, I haven't had really a customer or a client ask me about commissions in the
No.
last decade
Because they
because
know what value you're bringing.
boom, that's what it is, right? And so if you can start to look at yourself as more of an advisor, helping people create wealth in real estate
Yep.
to help them also get out of the rat race, what
100%.
also happens is that's where all my buys and sales come from, all my listings and buyers. Because as we're doing this real estate action plan slash
Yeah.
financial checkup from the neck up,
Yeah.
inevitably we hear, well, I really need to sell my house, Jazz. Great.
Yep.
For my real estate
Help
agents,
you.
those are called listings. And
Yeah.
then we hear, hey Jazz, like my cousin needs to buy her first condo. Do you guys deal with that stuff? Boom,
Yep.
get that business as well. So what you want to do is focus and funnel majority of your time, 90%, if not 100%. You want to
Yeah.
get to this as quickly as possible to generating leads, all funneled to a sales appointment. Because when you have a sales appointment, you now have a shot at doing a deal.
I love it. I love it. And like you said, like a lot of agents, they come in, agents are here, clients are here. But when you come up to the same level to where, okay, I'm providing you this value, this is what I'm doing for you. You guys, like I am of value for you. You're gonna make more money because of me. I'm going to show you the path. I'm going to take you from point A to point Z in the best way possible. That's one that's like, it's not even a question, but it's like, oh, I need Jas, I need Omar, I need whoever it is. And that's the same thing with my developers. It's like when I work with developers, you know how developers are. They always want discounted commissions, right? When I literally had a developer talk to me the other day. It's like, yeah, can you do this for 1%? I laughed a little bit. I was like, yeah, no, that's funny. And he was like, Omar, like I understand the value you're gonna bring. So typically my agents will do it for this. Can you at least meet me somewhere closer? And I'll bring it down a little bit, about down
Yeah.
to 2.25%. But like they see the value. So when you can really explain your value, hold your ground as an agent, it's a completely different game that you play with.
And just quickly, and I completely agree with everything you just said as well, Omer, because I deal with a lot of developers here in Toronto. But I want to quickly go back to that newer agent, and in terms of your cold calling and door knocking question, I don't
Yeah.
think there's anything wrong with cold calling and door knocking. I personally don't do it myself. Like I don't really cold call a list or anything of that
Yeah.
sort. I just don't think newer agents should be starting there yet. Do the most fundamental thing, which is people already in your phone. Because I know what everyone's thinking. Oh, Jas, like I don't really have a big list. Okay,
Yeah.
let's get started with it though. Let me see everybody in your phone.
Yeah.
Because why don't people on your like the people on your phone already know you?
Yeah.
They probably like you.
Trust
It's
you.
just the last part that I think that you need, which is they don't trust you yet. So we got to work on that because when
Yeah.
you have people that know you, like you, and trust you, they're the
Yeah.
best people to deal with. They're the
100%.
easiest person. But real estate agents and salespeople in general, like, let me go after the Facebook lead because then I can talk to the cold person who probably gave me an email like Mickey Mouse at hotmail.com. But even if they gave you the right email and the right phone number, they don't even know you.
You
And
know what it
so,
is? It's fear. They're scared to call their phone book. They would rather call a random stranger, have a less chance of converting them, and do more of it than calling someone in their phone book and saying, "Hey, I'm a real estate agent now. I would love to help you buy or sell."
100%. And I commend, like, I got goosebumps when you said it because not everybody catches why most people don't want to call their people in their phone book. You know
Yep.
what I mean? Like, it's exactly what you said, and it's why in our coaching, like, that our in-person people for our Toronto people, like, it's like I understood it now, and it's like, let's make this call together. So
Yep.
we sit there, and that's kind of the content that you've been
Yeah,
seeing a
that's
lot
what
of.
I've been saying. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Let's make the phone call, and it's amazing, right? Because the person's like shaking, and they're like, I don't want to call my uncle. I'm like, I know,
Yep.
but it's your uncle who's
Yep.
gonna want to help you. He just doesn't know that you need the help. You know what
100%.
I mean? And not asking for help is actually very selfish. And the reason I say that is because when you like if you think about it, you feel best about yourself when you help someone else. It's why we
100%.
as humans like to help people because selfishly it makes us feel good and there's
Yep.
nothing wrong with that.
Yep.
But if you don't allow someone else to feel that feeling, then you're selfish because you're trying to keep that feeling only to yourself. So like that's what got me over it about 20 years ago when I got into this business
Yeah.
was like, right, like I gotta allow people to feel good too. And so then I make the phone call of, hey Omar, I know it's been a minute, man. Listen, I
Yeah.
really need your help, bro. I'm not even calling you to help me, if you're thinking about buying or selling. Because what's the chances of the
Yeah.
stars aligning today and
Hey.
you're ready to buy? I'm actually
Yep.
just calling you, bro, to see if I can get your opinion on some stuff. And the opinion I need is on the marketing I'm going to be doing through emails every other week, some events that I'm going to be putting on, and
Yeah.
social media. You
Yeah.
cool with that, bro? Like, and if it gets to too much, like too many emails, too many invites to events, too much content, unsubscribe, no hard feelings. Me and you still boys. We'll still go for a drink.
Yeah.
We'll still eat some food. We'll eat some, Tibbs. We're gonna
Yeah.
be good. Is that cool? Yeah, awesome. 99.99999% of people, if you ask them for the help, that help, because you're not selling them anything,
I'm gonna
are
say
gonna say
yes.
yes. Now,
100%.
send the email out every other week. You got to put on that quarterly event.
Yeah.
You got to put out content on social media.
Yeah.
And then what happens over time, they start to trust you. They're like, all right, this guy's
Yeah.
putting out valuable stuff. I
Yeah.
am going to work with him. Or when they're at
100%.
the water cooler at work and someone says, I needed a little bit of advice about renting and thinking about, is Baltimore better or is Maryland, like
Yeah.
what this location better? that uncle, that person that you called is going to be like, oh my God, it's so funny that you just said that. There's a dude, Omar, who sends me emails all the time.
Yep.
You got to call him. Or you know what? Check him out on Instagram. Make sure that you like what he's doing on TikTok as well.
Yep.
And that's what really does happen.
It builds so much rapport for you beforehand. So for me right now, it's like when clients refer me or refer business to me, they send them my Instagram. They're like, here, check him out. And they see me, and then once they see the content, they see the work, they see how I do work, especially for developers, they see how we do the listing videos, whatever it is, then they're like, oh. So when they talk to me, they already feel like they already know me at a certain level. So it's not that cold little entry. And that's what I tell everyone. It's like your goal as a realtor, as Jas, as Omar, as whoever you are, is to be known as that real estate person, that real estate guy, that real estate girl. So if you're always the person in front of them with the emails, with the content, with the everything, they're like, oh, yeah, real estate, that guy Omar, I always see his content all the time. That guy Jas, right? So I love
And
that. I love
and
what you're doing.
and for most people who are listening, it's like, well, oh man, like that's not going to happen to me. I can tell you it will if you just consistently put out the content. If you just consistently put out the content and you do it from the perspective of giving, not trying to take. Meaning
100%.
it's not about the flashy car. It's not about every video's like, call me,
Yep.
like,
Yep.
because when you don't do that,
Yep. People can
you
feel it.
actually throw up, it really screws with people. They're like,
Yep.
whoa, how come there's no call to action? And then
Yep.
you do that consistently where you don't do a call to action, you actually win over time.
100%. And I think one of the biggest things that I tell, so I run a real estate marketing agency here as well, right? And with our marketing agency, what I tell everyone and any of our clients that work with us, it's like it's a consistency game. It's a long-term game. It's like you're not gonna come in here, do a month worth of content with us and expect to blow up on socials and getting buyers and sellers calling you every other day. That's
Yeah,
not how this works. It's a
yeah,
long haul game, but like you said, if you stick with it and you keep doing it and you're giving value without asking for anything back, it will pay off.
yeah. And I think that's the thing right there, bro. Like, especially the guys that are 24, 25. Um, I think the hardest thing that they have to contend with internally and like and like the 6 inches between their ears is
Yeah.
the impatience that they have. That's what I see. It's killing people, man. Like maybe it's because of social media, maybe it's because of just comparing it to other people. But I'm 42 years old, Omar, and I got more energy now than I've ever had.
I
And I
love it.
know I got another 60 years at this. I'm just at halftime, not
Yep.
even yet,
Yep.
And so at the age of 24 and 25 to want it quickly, man, unfortunately, anything that comes quickly is
Well,
generally not that valuable.
yeah.
However, on the flip side, what is valuable, you just got to be a little bit you just got to have a little bit of patience. And
Yeah.
over time, as long as you keep putting the work, you said consistency is undefeated, man. If you
Yep.
just keep going at it every single day, you'll find out what worked well, what didn't work well, what you like and what you don't like. And then that's when the results come.
I love it. Jas, this was phenomenal. And, I think this is probably one of the most value filled Hustler's Journey podcasts we've done. And again, this is such a short one. I know you got to run, but we're going to definitely run this back again soon. But this was phenomenal, Jas. I really appreciate you. And, I can't wait to pump this out.
Hey, bro, if you come to Toronto and you don't like hit me up, it's like a massive insult. You know what I'm saying? Like I
Absolutely.
really, truly mean that, man. Not that you need like a guide or anything of that sort, but I would whatever your vice is, water, coffee, vodka, tequila, whatever it is,
Yeah.
it's definitely on me. But I look forward to doing some stuff with you in the future. You come here, I do in person stuff, so I'd love to have you on the pod as well, and we can shoot the breeze. And
Yeah.
I feel the vibrations and the frequency, man. So I want to do a lot of stuff with you. I really appreciate you having me on today.
Yeah, no, this was phenomenal, man. And likewise, if you're ever in the DMV, Washington, D.C., we'll take care of you. We got you with everything. But this was awesome, man. Appreciate you. I know you got to run. I'll let you go. Jas, thank you again.
Awesome, man. Hit me up, okay, buddy? Thanks so much.